You can throw if out the window. It's not a matter of if you succeed, it's a matter of when. Because your mind is literally a course-correcting machine. And in this video, we're going to reveal why it's not a matter of if you succeed and how it's up to chance. It's a matter of when and the amount of time you spend with the thing. And some of you watching this video are going to feel a lot of comfort in me saying that. And some of you are going to feel a lot of pain in me saying that. And maybe I've already clicked off the video because of that. It's just a matter of how you view that level of responsibility. There's this quote that goes, "The rocket ship fails its way to the moon." Meaning when it's going from point A, the Earth, to point B, the moon, it's course correcting its whole way there. But it's course correcting at such a rate that we can't identify it, we can't feel that. But it's course correcting, it's learning its whole way there, right down to that pinpoint location. So we've been led to believe that it's about if. It's up to chance. When it's about when, and it's about spending enough time course correcting towards that goal of yours, towards the thing that you're working on. And in that, the only reason why you quit in that course correcting period is because it's too painful. Because you just don't have enough time with it. You don't have the patience, don't have the grit. And it's painful letting your old self die. It's painful bathing in that uncertainty and waiting out the storm there at times. It's painful to stop escaping yourself and what needs to be done. And I want to tell you this story that illustrates this perfectly, an experience that I had in 2021. In 2021, I moved to Spain to teach English. I picked up my life from the United States and I went to Spain. And when I got to Spain, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the language. I didn't know the city. It literally felt like I was starting from zero with everything. And like the rug just got pulled out from underneath me there. And even something like going into the grocery store was now this big ordeal. It was so nerve-wracking because, like I said, the rug got pulled out. I didn't even know the language. So all these minute things, all these mundane daily activities now held so much more weight. It's like I didn't want to go into the grocery store, but I needed to eat. I needed food, but I didn't know the language. So I didn't want to be an issue for people. I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want to be a problem. And upon arriving in Spain, I had to start looking for an apartment right away, an apartment to live. I didn't have a place to live. But I also had to start meeting people as well. I had to start working at my school to teach English there. I had to learn more about the city. I had to learn Spanish. And all of these things was overwhelming. And that's such an understatement. Overwhelming is such an understatement for that situation I was in. And the only comfort I could find was in my bedroom of my Airbnb, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was by myself, in my bedroom, with my computer, with some food, just chilling. That was my source of comfort at that time. And the feeling of isolation with that was quite crippling. But I knew I had to get out in the playing field. I knew I had to get out there and start course correcting and learning. I wasn't aware of that that's how it worked at the time, but looking back, that's what I had to do. And that's what I did. So why am I telling you this story, right? Because this is a classic example of breaking into a new identity and how it was never about if I was going to succeed in this new country, building this new life for myself. It was about when. It was always about spending enough time in it, in the playing field, and course correcting my way to meeting new people, to learning Spanish, to building this new life. It was only about the amount of time I spent sprawling out in that new location. And this relates perfectly to the things you're working on with your business as an entrepreneur. You course correct your way towards your goal, towards this new identity, towards this success, whatever that means for you. And that changes over time. But you course correct your way to it. So it's not a matter of if, it's about when. And that means it's all on you. There's no chance. It's not up to chance. It's all up to you. So if I would have understood this concept of the identity shift and how it's not about if, it's about when, I would have understood my situation here in Spain at a higher level. And I would have been able to become more aware of what was happening, these feelings that I was having. During my first 6 months in Spain, I had these feelings of my old identity from the US, from the USA, trying to hold on so badly to stay relevant. And whatever your goal you're working towards, you have that old identity that's wanting to stay relevant. I had this old identity of living in a small town in the United States, 4,000 people, less noise, chill. I played a lot of video games in this old identity. I actually streamed on Twitch for a while, playing video games. Good times. I had this old identity of not knowing Spanish. I only knew English, never had an experience of learning a foreign language. And I was moving towards this new identity. When I went to Spain, I was moving towards this new identity of living in a big city in Spain, pushing myself to learn Spanish, to learn a new language for the first time, building a new life for myself and a social circle, literally building a social circle from scratch, getting out there and meeting people as a person in my mid-20s, right? So just like the things you're working on here, you're working towards the success, a new identity. But there's this old identity holding you back. There's that temptation to resort back to comfort. Safety, familiarity. And when I was in Spain, over the first couple months there, I could have easily got a plane ticket and went back to the United States and said, nah, it's too painful. I want my comfort back. I want my comfort back. I want to go back to that old identity, that familiarity that I like so much. But it's just about spending enough time in the thing that you make that transition to that new identity. Then that old identity has the limiting beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of, has a familiar and comfortable routine, way of doing things, has a self-concept, who you believe yourself to be at a deep level. And it takes time for that one to fall away and the new one to enter in. It's not about if, it's about when that happens. It's about when that old one starts to fall away and you feel that more and more, and that new one enters in. It's not a matter of if you succeed, It's a matter of when you succeed. It's about spending enough time in the arena and course correcting. And why would you quit? Why would anyone quit on that? Just because it's too painful. Just because it's too painful. And I want you to think about that for a second. About how the past times when you quit, how it was just too painful. How those feelings you were having of transitioning into a new person were just foreign feelings. You were confused as hell. It was just painful. You didn't know what was happening. So take this higher level view now and just be the observer of that process happening. Even if it's just 1% of you observing that process happening. Okay? And that's going to help you persist. We only quit because it's too painful, because you don't have the patience, the time and attention to let that process unfold. And that's on you.